How education shapes dementia risk. Dementia, a syndrome characterized by declining cognitive function that interferes with daily living, represents one of the most significant health challenges facing aging populations worldwide. While sometimes viewed as an inevitable consequence of aging, research increasingly shows that dementia risk can be modified through life experiences. For instance, higher levels of education are associated with lower risk of dementia, but the exact relationship between years of schooling and cognitive health remains an important area of investigation. Professor Mark Hayward at the University of Texas at Austin and his colleagues Hyungmin and Mateo Farina recently explored how education affects dementia risk and onset timing, as well as prevalence trends across different population groups. Hayward's team examined exactly how the risk of dementia changes with each additional year of education. Using data from the Health and Retirement Study from 2000 to 2018, the researchers discovered that dementia risk decreases linearly with each additional year of education across the entire educational spectrum. This means every extra year of schooling, from elementary education through graduate studies, is associated with a meaningful reduction in dementia risk. The researchers found that continuous exposure to education across all levels shows a profound association with reduced dementia risk. Their calculations indicate that each additional year of education can prevent approximately 402 dementia cases per 100,000 adults, representing a significant public health impact. The team also discovered significant downward step changes at certain educational thresholds, particularly at high school graduation. These step changes represent sudden drops in dementia risk that occur specifically when someone completes a credential, such as a high school diploma, beyond the gradual reduction that comes with each year of education. Interestingly, these step changes were primarily observed among men and white adults. This pattern suggests that while educational exposure itself is broadly protective, educational credentials may not confer equal benefits across all demographic groups. These findings build upon another significant study from Professor Hayward and his colleagues, focusing on dementia prevalence trends from 2000 to 2014 among older non-Hispanic Black and white Americans. This research found significant declines in dementia prevalence for both groups during this period, with the steepest decline observed among Black Americans aged from 65 to 74. Critically, improved educational attainment across successive birth cohorts may explain much of this downward trend in dementia prevalence. The researchers explain that the U.S. experienced a dramatic expansion of schooling in the early 20th century, which led to increasing years of completed schooling for older adults from 2000 to 2014. The increases in educational attainment appear to have made older adults less prone to dementia. Even after accounting for other potential explanations, such as childhood conditions, health behaviors like smoking, and medical conditions including diabetes and heart disease, educational attainment remained the dominant factor in explaining declining dementia prevalence. The researchers also investigated how education affects the timing of dementia onset and the compression of dementia incidence into later ages. Their findings reveal that while the most common age of onset is around 85 years among college-educated adults, it occurs before the age of 65 for those with less than a high school education, a shocking 20-year difference. Furthermore, the variability in the timing of dementia onset for individuals is about 3 times greater for adults with less than a high school education compared to college graduates. This indicates that higher education not only delays dementia, but it also leads to more predictable onset timing concentrated in a very advanced age. Beyond examining dementia risk itself, the researchers conducted further research into how socioeconomic status across the life course affects dementia status life expectancy, which describes the years people can expect to live with and without dementia. Using a microsimulation approach, they calculated that men with high socioeconomic status throughout life could expect to live just 0.6 years with dementia, compared to 2.62 years for men with lifetime socioeconomic disadvantage. For women, the corresponding figures were 0.86 and 3.06 years. Importantly, this research also suggests that improvements in socioeconomic status after childhood can play a compensatory role in reducing dementia risk. Adults from disadvantaged childhoods who achieve high education levels often have dementia experiences similar to or better than those from advantaged childhoods who achieved low education levels. The research by Hayward and his colleagues has significant implications for both public health and individual well-being. By quantifying education's protective effect against dementia, they provide evidence for policies promoting educational attainment as a strategy for reducing dementia burden in aging populations. They also highlight the importance of addressing educational disparities across gender and racial groups to ensure equitable cognitive health outcomes.